Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good day. We want to welcome you to SKTV. Welcome to each and every one of you. Welcome to today's edition. We want to welcome all of our viewers and our listeners around the world. Welcome, welcome, and welcome to all of you from around the world, especially those in Liberia. We want to welcome you. Welcome you to the show. Today we are um, in an interview with Martin say Kollah. I hope I pronounce it well. I don't want to get into trouble. Um, from the Liberty Party, the current Secretary General of the Liberty Party. We're in an interview slash conversation. We want you to share the show. Um, he's made some revelations. We want to dive into those revelations. Um, we are connecting with the team here from Liberia. Let me make sure they're on. But in the meantime, we want to welcome all of you. Brother Solomon, while he's connecting, welcome to the show. Let's give Solomon a chance to connect here from the back. Once we get signal from him, we'll bring him back on. But we want to welcome all of you. Welcome to SKTV if you're just following us. Today is Saturday, May 14th, 2022. In Arizona, the time here is 11:06 a.m. It's 11:06 p.m. or GMT time in Liberia. But on the East Coast, I think it is 2:06 p.m. On the West Coast, Midwest, it should be 1:06 p.m. I'm learning all the different time. Central Standard Time, it should be 1 p.m. as well. I stand to be corrected. I hope I don't get in trouble with Telvi on that one. And our folks from Texas and other places. We want to welcome all of you, ladies and gentlemen. While you are tuning in, while you're coming on, let's share the show, please. Invite someone. We anticipate an interesting conversation here with our brother Martin Kollah. I don't want to misquote his or mispronounce his last name. But as you may be aware, Martin is the current Secretary General. I think we're getting a signal here from Liberia. Brother Solomon, how are you? Good to have you today.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you again for this gracious opportunity for me to be on this unique platform with you on today's edition of the program SKTV on this 14th day of the 5th month AD 2022 and exactly 7 minutes past the hour 6 p.m. from Painesville City, Morovia, outside the nation capital on your favorite radio 96.1.
Okay, thank you so much, Martin. Martin's joining us from Liberia. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we want to welcome all of you. Those of you watching us from Asia, Australia, Europe, the Americas, but most importantly, those watching us from Liberia. We have always said on here that the Liberian people are the most important people on earth. We believe that, but most importantly, we believe that the Liberian women are the most beautiful women on earth. I don't know if my boy Salomon in studio can debate that. Salomon, I don't know if you can debate that, that the Liberian women are the most beautiful women on earth. I don't know if you want to put yourself in a situation that you can't handle, but that will be up to you.
Okay. Yeah, the network, you are speaking earlier on, but I could not get anything from you. So can you please reiterate?
Yes, I was saying that the Liberian women are the most beautiful women on earth, and I don't know if you can deny that fact or if you want to get a same situation you can't handle.
Let me speak on that.
What do you think, man?
No, we are so blessed with everything. This land is a very blessed land because more especially in terms of everything, we are just excellent, extraordinary. Record making, we break records every now and then. And Liberian women, they are the most beautiful women in the whole wide world.
Yeah, finally you agree with me. Some people that will argue that
Steve, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Solomon, you might have to go back in. Go back out and come back, Salomon. You might have to go out and come back in. Well, Salomon agreed with me, and that is a fact. That is not debatable. Our folks watching us from Liberia, help us share the show. We are on FM 96.1, True FM 96.1. Salomon, are you hear me? I think he's still having some.
Yeah. You are live. Yeah.
You hear me now?
Yeah. You are very clear.
Okay, wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. As we are with our guests, we want to give you quick. Some. We call it in other news. In other news. In other news, the hero. The hero. There is a recording. I'm being told that there is a recording of the hero begging Mr. Cummings for tuition. We'll talk about that in detail on Monday in other news. There's a lot of noise coming. There's a lot of noise coming on. Well, in other news, the United States Congress has subpoenaed members of the Congress who participated in the plotting and the plan. Since we're going to be talking about plots or core group or however you want to term them, the United States Congress has sent a subpoena for some of the congressional members who participated in the coup or the coup plot January 6th with President Donald Trump. Amongst those members of the House of Representatives, you recall, it's Jim Jordan. There is Matt Gaetz. There is also they got as poised to becoming the representative. The Republican Party wins the House of Representatives. He's also been subpoenaed, and so this is very interesting, very interesting, coming from the United States Congress in terms of holding people accountable, holding people by the rule of law. So a lot of good things are happening. And as I'm reading the papers, as I'm listening to the news here in the U.S., I'm very excited that, accountability, people can be held accountable for what they do. And I hope and pray that, in our nation also that would happen. Speaking of accountability and justice, we saw sometimes this week on Thursday, I think it was on Thursday or on Friday, I was in constant communication with Yaseni Martin-Kwei, who, along with some members, met with Congress also, representatives from Congress. Representative Chris Smith, I'm being told, was in that meeting, and other members also, they met. And there was 300,000 signatures turned over to Congress as to pursue the issue of war and economic crimes code in our country. So I think the Front Page Africa had a headline on that. But on Monday, we dive into that, the implications and so forth. In other news, I'm hearing members from the CDC saying that they are planning, quote unquote, to go to Congress too, to carry some signatures to say that they don't need one economic crimes code in Liberia, which does not make any sense anyways. But those are part of the other news that we have for you today. Stay tuned on SKTV while we await our guests. Any moment from now, Sekou would be joining us. I know Tel would join us from the phone. Tel has an obligation today, so she wouldn't be in person, but you never know, maybe some things could change. So definitely, as we await our guest here, there is our guest is in the back. Let's get to the musical break really quick and share the show, and we'll be back. Right after that, we'll bring on our guests, and we'll go straight into the interview for today. But interesting song, interesting music I want to play today for us. I want to take us back all the way to 2004, 2003, 2005. So let's take us back to that really quick. I think this will be very interesting for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Sonada Diapo. I'm glad with the great opportunity opportunity given me to introduce to you your president.
Who want to become president? Who still want to become president? Bobby doesn't want to become president. President you see want to become president. Mr. Kennedy want to become president. Mr. Lala want to become president. Yeah, president you will see you. Mr. Ruru want to become president. Yeah, boy. Now how the president his name will be? We suffering for some more. Mr. Lala want to become president. President you see want to become president. Mr. Become president. It can't be one agree. Let me tell you something. When they want to become president with Lala, they will come and say, as the president of the Republic of Liberia.
Truth FM 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia. This station is ruled by nation.
As the president of the Republic of Liberia, I want to make sure I will bring the respect down. Yeah. I'm going to put all the fear of president. I'm going to bring the gasoline price down. Yeah. I don't want to become president. If you know you say you want to tell me say president will tell money you tell me the president. Trust take up become president. And now you say, Liberia will show you. When they give president to them, they will stand and say, I'm Meso. I will bring down Monrovia and bear you new Monrovia. I'm going to make sure I'm not going to steal the government money. I'm going to make sure 7 get their back pay. I'm the president want to make sure that the AFL are going to be paid in 2 weeks. I'm going to make sure students going to get 12 buses. I'm going to make sure for the little children they say, I'm going to buy two plastic bags for them to poo inside. Yeah. Babu, you see want to become president? Mr. President want to become president. Mr. Jongo want to become president. Lala want to become president. Jerry Ripper want to become president. You know he say who suffering Liberia. Listen to the speech. As the president of the Republic of Liberia, I'm going to make sure I'm going to electrify the city into 1 day time. As the president of the Republic, I'm going to drive the whole of the sea and pay you people as the daily. And things go back. Republic of Westwind going to be an estate. Mr. President, become president. Mr. Lala want to become president. Mr. Ruru want to become president. Mr. Rocky Dog want to become president. Mr. Kenju May want to become president. Mr. Ripasa want to become president. Mosquito want to become president. The Colonel Caesar want to become president. Professor everyone want to become president. And you want to know when you want to become president. Yeah. Mosquito, they said they want to become president. Who will choose to become president? president. He can't happy will not be. He can't become president. As if he become president. Oh yeah, na nipo. What problem? Let me dance you when I become my friend. Oh, the president they know it. Soledad. I will do for Soledad. Hey, now. Dancing to the song for me. Where you at? Soledad. Please come and we see who will become president.
Virginia, don't cry about it. If president stepping in and worry my dear, I got one question to how will be president. But wait now, I can't you become president. Nobody know you. How do you become president? How will you become president? Hey, people man, I want to become president.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will leave it right there as we head back to the studio here to bring in our guests for today. Let's bring on our guests really quick. Good afternoon, Mr. Martin C. Kollah. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right. Can you hear me? You're muted.
Yeah, you hear me now? You hear me now, right?
Yes, we can hear you. Did I pronounce your last name right?
Yeah, it's Kollah.
Kollah. All right, great.
Yeah.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to
Yeah,
SKTV.
people just call it Kollah, but it's Kollah. Kollah.
Kollah.
Thank
All
you,
right.
my brother. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. And let me say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Okay.
Whatsoever part of the world you are, happy to be here. This is my debut appearance on SKTV.
No, I think you've been here before, but I wasn't on the set by then. I think I heard you on here before, but we can go back to the tips and look at it for the record. But welcome,
Sure.
welcome to SKTV, and you just listened to a song. I remember that song when we were much younger. By that time we were younger. I don't know about other people, but when we were much younger, this song came out. That time we're in our prime. We're in politics and running around. But since we left it now, what do you make of that song? Hearing that song, and where were you when that song first came out? If anything, what do you make of that song?
Okay, so was it in the early 2000s, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if it's in the early period, I left Liberia for some time. I was in the Ivory Coast. I actually graduated from high school in the Ivory Coast. So I was back to Liberia around 2000. So I was I was here in Liberia for my university life at that time.
Okay. So by then you were not into politics or anything like that, right?
No. Look, my entry into the University of Liberia. Initially, when I entered, I'm a science student, by the way. My first degree is in chemistry. My undergrad degree is in chemistry. So when I entered, I wanted to be a medical doctor. So I was concentrating on a very good science students, very good student in mathematics and chemistry and physics. So I was doing some tutorial on the university campus. So from the very get-go, my first semester, I had an encounter with the Student Unification Party, and I became the freshman class president.
Okay. Well.
So from the get-go, I entered into politics. Yeah.
Okay. So you've been around politics for a while now.
Of course, yes. I was freshman class president, student representative to the UL Council, acting president of the University of Liberia Student Union, VAP president for National Affairs Student Union, and then interim president of the Liberia National Student Union. And then, so I've been around into youth and student advocacy and international politics. I've been with the Liberty Party. Even before the Liberty Party, with Councillor Bronsky, as early as 2003, The Liberty Party got formed in 2005 to 2006. So I've been with the Liberty Party, playing some role into the national politics. I contested in District 6 in the 2017 election. So I've been around for some time,
Okay, you've been around for some time. Well,
into
folks,
this political team.
Thank you, Martin. Folks, if you're just joining us, this is SKTV. We want to welcome each and every one of you. Help us to share the show, invite someone. We are in a conversation or / interview with Martin Kollah, the Secretary General of the Liberty Party. Martin, you prefer me calling you Mr. Kollah or Martin? Which one? Because I think I'll be switching back and forth here. I want to get a comfortable way to call you. Are you okay with me calling
Martin? Is okay. If it is Martin, it's okay.
Okay, wonderful. I will stick with
it. Just Kollah,
I will stick with Martin for the sake of this conversation. So
correct.
So let's lay the basis for you coming to politics and into the Liberty Party. According to you, just told us that you were with peace be to his ashes, Councillor Charles Walker Bronskin, before the Liberty Party was even formed. So I want to stick with the Liberty Party with you. What would you say is different from the Liberty Party of Charles Walker Bronskin as opposed to the Liberty Party we have currently now? What would you say the difference is?
Look, again, like I said, my early university years, I remember when the late political leader, stand-up bearer, may so rest in peace, Councillor Bronskin was coming to Liberia in 2000. So we did a mobilization for him. We were then part of the Friends of Bronskin at that time. My first close real encounter with him was when he returned in 2003. And then we have some interaction. At that time, I was already playing student politics on the University of Liberia campus. And so he said he had interest in working along with us and developing us. And I tell you, since I encountered Councillor Bronskin, there are certain characteristics
Truth
of Councillor
FM
Bronskin.
96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia.
There are certain characteristics that is so different from a lot of politicians that I've encountered. Councillor Bronskin was a man who, every decision he would take, everybody was very relevant in Councillor Bronskin. And once you were part of a leadership, once you were named to a particular position, he picks his call, even if it is not immediate. This is somebody who thought that even though my idea would be the last, but let me help to inform me. This is the man that I know. I know somebody who will always tell you that, look, Kanwa Martin is for us to follow the law, and do those things that are required by the law. This is the man who told me for the first time I got to know the only appointee in the government that can differ with the president is the justice minister. It was Councillor Bronskin who told me that far before I read about it.
Martin,
so this is a new.
We're having. I think it's a little slower. The feedback is a little slower. Where I'm not sure if it's from your end. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Are you getting me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, so I think it is our internet issue here.
Oh, okay.
We have so we have some internet problem here.
What I want to move directly to that question again. I want to ask you that direct question, and thank you for laying the basis about the counselor and you and your relationship as opposed to the party and so forth. What is the difference between the Liberty Party of Councillor Bronski and the current Liberty Party you have now, what would you say?
Rules the
So
nation.
yeah. So look, again, with the Liberty Party that I'm in right now is furthering the vision of the Liberty Party that I am a part of right now is upholding the legacy of Councillor Bronski. There's a Liberty Party who believe this is why I was laying the basis as a legal icon. He was a legal icon. He was a legal luminary. He was somebody who was prized for following the rule of law. He was a man who was respected of the rule of law. We at the level, we are also following in similar direction. We are saying that the law should be the law. We should ensure that we go by the law. But there are leadership characteristics of an individual that are taught to express that surrounded Councillor Bronski while he was alive and while he was leading the Liberty Party, of those who inherited the Liberty Party and that have brought the Liberty Party into the state that he's in right now. I was trying to distinguish between that leadership between Councillor Bronski and the person who inherited the party after Councillor Bronski. And as God being God, we at the level of the Liberty Party have managed to put that situation under control so that we go back to Councillor Bronski's vision and we also structure the party in a way that it conforms to the modern dynamics within our body politics.
Okay, thank you so much.
So, in terms of general vision of the party, the Liberty Party is on course. We are the party that respect the rule of law. We are the party that's we say in the voice of our acting political leader, Chairman Musa Hassan Bility, that the law is the law. We have always tread cautiously in terms of leadership characteristic. I was trying to distinguish Councillor Bronski from the person who inherited the party. Councillor Bronski was a man that would consult who should be relevant to a particular issue. He was not a man of ego. He was not somebody who would say, this is my party. I founded it. Councillor Bronski time. Steve, during Councillor Bronski time, Councillor Bronski never one day as political leader issued press statement. Never one day as political leader did Zoa do it. He never wanted, because he needed not to do it since he was holding consultation. Since the executive committee that needed to run the day-to-day affairs, and he was consulting with them, and he was consulting with even those of us that were not part of the executive committee, but our stalwarts and stakeholders of the Liberty Party.
Okay, thank you, Martin. Well,
this made the stability that exists in the Liberty Party when he was alive, as compared to when the political leader that took over from him brought it.
So Martin, you keep saying the political leader into, Martin, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you, but we're having break in the internet.
Right. So you keep saying the person that took over after Councillor Bronski, the political leader. Who is that person? Can you please give us name or names?
Yes. So the former political leader, Senator Yomdi Lawrence of the Liberty Party. Virtues, no virtues, no skills that Councillor Bronski took to the leadership that held us together. She thought it was not very important. She thought she gospel in the party.
Thank you. So I want to ask you a question, and this question has to do with the constitution of the Liberty Party, for which you guys went to the Supreme Court not too long ago, and for which it also brought noise in the party to some extent, which is the 2015 Constitution. Was Councillor Bronski aware of the 2015 Constitution, and did he serve under that 2015 Constitution?
But I didn't get you. There was a break-in. I didn't get you.
Let me go back. The 2015 Constitution, the 2015 Constitution of the Liberty Party, was Councillor Bronski aware of that Constitution, and did he serve under that Constitution?
Yes.
Okay, great.
He was aware.
Great. Now, if he was aware of that Constitution and he served under that Constitution, and you are saying that he was a man he was an astute man, and you know, you've said all the good things about him. Senator Yongdi Kanga-Lauren takes over, and she's in charge of, she's in charge of the party. She comes under the 2015 Constitution that was inherited by her, and in that Constitution,
this station rules the nation.
You and others have asserted that
Truth
that
FM
Constitution gives
96.1,
some power
the heart and
to
soul
only the
of
political
Liberia.
leader. What do you say about that?
Did any part of your statement I didn't get it?
So I said that Constitution, the 2015 Constitution,
we have asserted that
you have asserted that the 2015 Constitution gives power. You made that assertion on TMAS Jarate show, and I'm paraphrasing you. It gives unilateral power to just the political leader. So what do you say about that Constitution that Charles Bronski used, as opposed to Yomdi Kanga using it the same way too as well? Don't you think that this is bias, that one political leader used this Constitution, another political leader is using it, but you have a problem with one political leader as opposed to the other person?
Are you getting me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, so this is where the different leadership skills comes into. Your assertion is that Constitution was used under Councillor Bronski, and he managed to hold the party together with that Constitution. It means that he was exhibiting some extraordinary leadership skills that kept the party together. And if it is that same Constitution that Senator Kanga wished that she had today, and the party is in chaos, or she plunged the party into chaos and into crisis, it speaks to her leadership skill. That's the point I was making from the beginning. But let me speak about constitutionality. Constitution is a living document. So it doesn't mean that because that Constitution was under Councillor Bronski, so there was no means for us to. We did as a party, even when Councillor Bronski was leaving, when we went to Lofa in 2018, the instruction to Madam Kanga and all of office that time in Lofa, I was elected as the vice chair for planning, policy, and program at that time. Mm-hmm. The instruction was for us to review the Constitution, political dynamics that we now have, meaning that Councillor Bronski himself acknowledged at that time that this document needs to be amended because all constitutions changes can be made based on the time. Maybe at that time, the framework of the Constitution at that time saw it very necessary to the political leader to dissolve the executive committee. Maybe it was right for that time. There are so many things that were in the Constitution of Liberia before the 19th, that was removed because at the time it was the framework of the Constitution saw it right, but in 1985 when Dr. Sawyer made so rest and others saw that it was not important, so they removed it. So that was the case with the Liberty Party Constitution. But guess what? There was one person who had all that Constitution. He rather preferred doing what was expedient and appropriate at that time to keep his party together. There's another person who was not the founder of the party. We are all followers of Councillor Bronski, who came and say, I will use every authority that is available. Thanks be to God that before she ever thought about using it. This is why if there's anything that will resolve the Liberty Party crisis, is for Senator Kanga to have the 2015 Constitution back and will return to Steve. In this modern age, in our time, Senator Kanga, Senator Dillon, they want for us to have a constitution that governs the Liberty Party that says Senator Kanga can sit from her residence in Buchanan anytime and dissolve us as executive committee in this modern age time. And that has been supported by folks from other political institutions because they feel that Senator Kanga is supporting them.
Okay.
I have always told my friends in the Unity Party that if you want a constitution for your political leader to dissolve the executive committee at any point in time, then allow Joseph Boyka redo your constitution, allow Ambassador Boyka to hold up the authority to dissolve the Unity Party Executive Committee. When you do that, then we'll consider doing ours. But you know this is not right. You know, in this modern age and time, Steve, I cannot be Secretary General of an institution and one person have all that authority to just dissolve us. At this point in time, everybody thought that that was not necessary. That is the Liberty Party. And because somebody thought that we have far past that issue, so Councillor Bronski, in summary, has extraordinary leadership skill that managed the 2015 up to the time that he turned over to Senator Kanga. When she took over, she thought that it was an opportunity for her to start exercising some authorities and power. Steve, you know that why? And to everybody, because Senator Kanga was going to elections. If she were not going to elections, if Senator Kanga was not going to election, if Senator Kanga had been elected political leader, there will be no Liberty Party by now.
Martin, I would like for you to do that. I would like for you to do us this favor. Can you go back out and come back in, because
this station rules the nation.
You keep
Truth FM
looking through. Is it possible to go back out and come back in, please?
Okay.
Yes, please. Let's do that, because it will help us. Maybe it'll reset some things here. Folks, if you're just joining us, this is SKTV. You're following SKTV. We're in conversation with Martin S. Kollah, the current Secretary General of the Liberty Party. For those of you following us on Truth FM 96.1 in Liberia, we want to say stay tuned as we bring back as Martin comes back in here, when he logs back on. We have a lot to talk about. We've started to talk about the Liberty Party to lay the basics for the conversation. It is important that we do this way so that we are not lost into the conversation, but rather we are laying the basis and having context of what we're talking about so that you are aware. Stay tuned. We have a lot to talk about. We're yet to dive into the allegation that Martin has made. He made his allegation on 50-50, and we thought it wise to bring him on to substantiate some of these claims and to provide context and clarity as to why he said what he said. But in the meantime, just to bring you back to speed, we're discussing the 2015 Constitution of the Liberty Party, which has been brought in the conversation by Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence. You will recall that a few months ago, Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence did assert that the party is returning to status quo ante, which is they're going back to the 2015 Constitution, which would say automatically that Steve Zago, Senator Stephen Zago, not Steve Zago, Senator Stephen Zago from Lofa County would become the chairman. Current chairman, Musa Beledi, automatically would be kicked out, wouldn't be the chairman. That has been something that has been going on. They've been fighting the Liberty Party. Most recently, they went to the Supreme Court, which we will dive into really quick because we want to hear what happened to the Supreme Court. Martin, are you back?
Yeah. So
okay, much better. You changed location?
I'm here. Are you getting me now? Am I clear?
Yes, we can hear you. So can you hear me?
Great. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
so,
I'm hearing you.
So let's move forward a little bit more because we have a lot to cover here. Let's move forward. So fast forward, this Constitution of 2015 became a problem. And if, like I was saying earlier, if this Constitution was brought back into force 2015, that means Chairman Musa Benede, which is the current chairman, will be kicked out. You also would be kicked out automatically, which means you would not be the Secretary General. It would be someone else. Is that correct?
You said if we go back to the 2015?
Yes, if the 2015 Constitution were reinstituted, that means
yes,
Chairman Musa Benede would not be the chairman and you would not be the Secretary General, right?
Correct.
Wonderful. So here's my next question.
Correct.
Most recently, we heard about going to the Supreme Court. So I'd like you to briefly, please be brief and get straight to the point with us. What happened when you guys went to meet with the justice in chamber? What happened? What was recommended, and where are we now?
So listen, this sometimes to answer this question directly is good. I will do that very briefly. How we got to the Supreme Court, it is important for our people in the diaspora to understand it. At the Supreme Court, let me say in summary, what happened, for me, it was mind-blowing when we walked out of the chambers of the Supreme Court and I saw Senator DeLong and Senator Kanga and their lives giving us misinformation. Because when we went to the court, Steve, everything that they ever asked for, the court denied them. Remember, Steve, and everybody, we were taken to the Supreme Court because Senator DeLong and Senator Kanga and their lives wanted for the justice in chamber to place a prohibition on our activity to operate the Liberty Party. There was a writ that was sent in the assignment, to us was for us to hold our activity
of Liberia
until we meet in conference at the justice in chamber. So the purpose for taking us to the Supreme Court was to make sure that the Supreme Court issue a writ of prohibition to prohibit from or carry on any activity. They were denied that. Steve, are you getting me?
Yes.
So the main reason for which they took us to the Supreme Court, they wanted the court to issue a writ of prohibition on us. Then Senator Kanga and her lawyer attempted to introduce one special national convention that brought us into authority of the party. That convention was illegal. The justice in chamber again said to her that Senator Kanga went and presided over an illegal process, certified it, inducted people into offices, and then you come back here to come tell me that the process was illegal for somebody else telling me but her. So I'm not listening to what that was this. There was second issue. The third issue was they wanted to bring in the Emmanuel Ezango case. I am getting the what happened at the Supreme Court before Justice Wolokodi. When they talked about the Emmanuel Ezango case, the justice, she became a little bit angry, and she said, "Look, is this the Emmanuel Ezango that contested in the election and lost the election? So if you are one, you will come back to us here." He said, then at the end of the conversation, Senator Kanga wanted to invoke, because this is her healing agenda. She wanted to say, we are going to settle. So she made a statement. She made the statement. If everybody who were there will say the were facts, she made that particular statement. The justice in Chima to her, hey, no. I told you 2 hours. I said Chairman Benete say he and the party did the correction. bring that correction back to me within 72 hours. I am talking about the 2021 Constitution and not the 2015. It was at that point that Senator Kanga realizes that no more 2015 Constitution. This is how the 72-hour came about.
Okay.
So the first information I have given you is that all things that they asked for from the justice in Chima, they were denied. They were denied the rate of prohibition. They were denied trying to make the special national convention or illegal. They were denied trying the 2015 Constitution. They were also denied on making the Ezango case an issue. Now, how the 72-hour came about? You know, this is why when I listen to saying that they don't claim, I can wonder whether something wrong somewhere. Because when we were in Chima, the justice asked and said, Senator Kanga, do you agree with the family? Yes. He said, Chairman Benedict, you agree with the Farmington agreement? Chairman Benedict said yes. Our lawyer said yes. He said, but this is the only issue here. And you're going to make some correction. Go and make that correction and then come back. Then Chairman Benedict said, that, look, Justice, we have already mentioned. As a matter of fact, and the justice asked, even before that, the justice asked, said, but why are you not making the correction? Then our lawyer said, no, let's use the procedure in the party. It is no one person that can just correct constitution or place in any kind of way that constitution by the convention. So we get to take it back. Then Chairman Benedict said, and we did it already. So the justice said, what you did, Mr. Benedict, go and bring also the neck. You people should go to neck. And then since you say you are, because we told her that we have filed our neck. So we're not going to change anything to our neck. We have filed that constitution there since January. The records are out there. Because we had a convention in December 17th to the 18th. It was a special national convention here in Ganta. So, in joint document. So the justice said, if you file a neck, that neck bring me the work carpet within 72 hours, and you bring me your carpet within 72 hours. What we did was clear the constitution that we said that we have made the correction in and that we have filed our neck, we should have bring it. So we went to neck, anticipating that said they did not show up, but the next day she was on the radio saying that we went to go change constitution on one neck. So neck took what we have filed with them since January of this year, and we took our carpet to the justice. So the 72 hours were not given for us to return to the 2015. All how Senator Kanga wished that we return to 2015 constitution, but she can never go back to the 2015 constitution. So that what happened there? Look, Steve, everything that the people prayed for at the Supreme Court, they were denied.
Liberia.
So my
and say that the justice gave us 72 hours to go change the constitution. And then, Steve, I want you to give me 1 or 2 minutes. Let me tell our audience about the correct, because even the justices, the neck, everybody sees it to be very inconsequential. Steve, the Farmington agreement, what took us to Farmington? It's important for the public to know. What took us to Farmington was a lie told by my brother and friend, Senator Delon. That lie was, during the special national, I made a proposition, I made a motion to say all Senator Kanga powers should be restored. You see the background of everything is about restoring the political leader power, some power to dissolve the executive committee. That is the only history of all this particular conflict. So say that they don't lie to the party, made it public, he went made this motion. So we agreed and went to our Farmington. When we got to our Farmington, after video evidence, we saw that it was a lie. It was a lie that's a made such a motion. Because none of us would have accepted that. If I had different when he even told me I was staying in his office, I told him, he said, boss man, no. I was chair of the convention committee. You made such, no such, because even if you are made such, I would have been one of those to kick against it. How in a modern time we have one person in jail or waking up and then dissolving us. So when we got to our Farmington after video, for which was completely different from what took us to Farmington. Where did we find out? We found out that in the video, in the 2021 or January Constitution, it say the NEC in collaboration and consultation with the political leader. I want for you to listen keenly, Steve. Because you could ask questions in collaboration and consultation with the political leader, sure, blah, 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 and the list go on. Then in the video, we found out that the video say the political leader with the next, sure, blah, blah, blah. Steve, what's the difference over there? Whether it is the next first or the political leader first, it will be done in consultation and collaboration about it. And what is it are they talking about? They are talking about special policy that will come out of the convention, not the running of the party. They say to create policy or come up with a kind of policy and then different kind of regulations. All those things should be in consultation and collaboration with the political leader. So whether you put the political leader first, anybody who you put first, at the end of the day, you must do it with one another consent. If you go do it and you cannot reach consensus, the second correction is important that the public knows some of these things so that they will know the reason for which Yombly and Delon destroying the Liberty Party is so inconsequential. It is because Steve, how does that benefit me, for example, that you say that our first document, if somebody say the NEC in consultation and collaboration with the political leader or the political in collaboration with the NEC, it means the same. Nothing will change. Legally, nothing will change. Nothing. The second point is honor the white chairmanship. It says, sure, be the political leader in the absence of the political leader. Keyword, in the absence. Then they say, when we went through the chairman shall act as political leader in the absence of the political leader. Steve, what is there to work for about? Whether the chairman act, whether he will be political leader, it can only happen. Steve, that was Senator Dillon and Yombly Kanga, that was in the Farmington. If you see anything else in the Farmington, you should discredit me. This is what you know why they are running with that Farmington, that they get back 2015 Constitution. So that Senator Kanga can, so that when she say, I am going to support Mr. Kumi, and you say no, then she can dissolve the executive committee. So when she say, let us support, they don't want nobody participation, no interaction, what they dream about, what they think about, what they say we should get follow. I will not be Secretary General.
Okay, thank you.
On such a leadership.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you so much for providing us clarity and context about this whole. I want to go to Senator Dillon, you and Senator Dillon's relationship. It can be recorded that you resigned from Senator Dillon's office. First question to you is, how is your current relationship with Senator Dillon, and why did you resign from his office? Can you be brief about that? Because we have a lot to put in there.
I know, right? Look, Senator Dillon is a friend. We have policy difference. We are different on where we stand, where we see this kind of country. I am a little bit disappointed on why he would see our party in the country, that he would still want to support an undemocratic tenets to be permeated in our party. I'm a little bit disappointed that he will want for us to have a structure that one person have absolute authority to dissolve us, and he think that's the best way, especially after all of us have rallied around him. He will be supporting the tenets of democracy. I'm a little bit disappointed, but he's a friend. I mean, if I see we speak to one another, there's no question. I mean, we have policy different. Like I said, I don't agree with him, on some issues.
Okay.
And especially major issues that have to do with the future of this country. So we are still friends, but he's doing is not good for our party, it's not good for our country. You don't want to support such a tendency simply because you have a relationship with one person. So here I have some policy difference. But I left from here, I resigned. It's very clear, it's in my letter. I'm contesting in district number 6, so I resigned. There are other issues professionally that I know that when you resign, you have it is unprofessional. It is not a good practice that you resigning and then you want to make. I resigned from Senator. They don't operate peacefully. Even though he came, I was surprised at that. He maliciously came after me. I was surprised at that. But I him. I can be him. I mean, he can come after me all that he wants.
So
I would use phrase,
So let's make progress here. After you resigned, you were accused of still collecting pay. Let me put it the Labrador way. You were accused of still collecting pay. As of February 8th, it still said that monies were deposited into the account, and Senator Dillon wanted some clarity on that. It was in the public, and let me state what you said. Quote, a person as office staff to you, my salary accounts were open upon submission of my name to the Human Resources Office of the Senate, of the House of Senate, which subsequently placed me on the payroll. Therefore, the responsibility to remove me from the payroll after I resigned was in your purview to follow the same method by which I enrolled. So you are blaming this back on Senator Dillon and saying Senator Dillon should have taken you off the payroll. Now, here's my question, and I want us to be as brief as possible, please. Did you take the money that was deposited into your account? And also, part of this question also would be, where is this case now against you?
But there's no case. I mean, let me answer the last one. There's no case, and absolutely no. I didn't go to the account. Since I resigned in August. As a matter of fact, there was no deposit in the account until in November. They did 6 deposit in the account, and then the LBD the UBA officer transfer account because I tied that account to my loan account. But it is a little bit surprising because look, we already thought that Senator Dillon was somebody who was then very exemplary. For he to have come after me the way he did and ask the controller to keep depositing money in my account. And let me tell you how I know. So I resigned August. I didn't go to the account. There was no money placed in there. No money placed September. No money placed October. November. The controller at the Senate did 3 direct deposits. First of all, they get 2 kind of staffers at the Liberia Senate in general. We have the personal staffer and central administration staffer. So personal staffer, you get employed by the senator or by the lawmaker, whether representative or senator. So attempt to help Senator Dillon. And he was my employer. So I didn't have to go to HR to get administration staff who are doing. So if I'm resigning, I'm supposed to resign
This
with
station rules the
my
nation.
resignation was a public notice. Everybody knew it. It was a breaking news.
Truth
And Senator
FM
Dillon accepted my
96.1,
resignation,
the heart and soul
not
of Liberia.
only personally between us, but he went on the social media and then because he knew that I resigned, he gave an instruction for them to not take money there. But after things start going bad, after I start standing up to Senator Dillon, insisting that we cannot bring back the 2015 Constitution, then Senator Dillon found a way to get at me. And that instruction was placed. The second reason why I think that he was that were three that resigned that month, even though I was the first. Were three persons. Martin Kollah resigned as chief of staff. Abel Blackie resigned as the policy advisor, resigned as the guy for administration, the administrative assistant. So three of us resigned. And guess what? Up to never made a mistake to put money in the other two people's account. But they only put money in my account. I see some fanatic of out of the unit who had their hands behind, and you see them say, "Oh my man, you so take the money." Nobody questioning why Senator Dillon left the other two persons and came after me. Good news is I never went to that account, and this is why Senator Dillon and the other put their, and they are afraid. I never went to that account. The money that the loan took out, I replaced it, and I retained me. There are some people in the diaspora who understand how this thing works. For someone to even go on social media and start saying, "Oh, you roll and you stole the money." When people put money in your account, you go and tell the court how you're going to pay that money, even if you use it. There is no crime in that one. But being the person that I am, when I got to know that money was going to my account the day Senator Dillon office staff put the letter on Facebook, even before reaching it to me.
Okay.
Because Senator, he was hoping to get at me. So when they put it on my Facebook, then I called the bank. And the bank told me, "Oh yeah, money been coming. But we want in November." I said, "But why the other 3 months?" They said, "Oh, we know." But then they were loan to the money. So I said, "Who gave the instruction for the loan to take the money?" I mean, in the bank. But the point that I want to make is that all the money that the Liberian government, maybe it was a plan for Senator Dillon, maybe they had the do it at the Liberian Senate and they go after that money so that they can use it. But I returned I did a manager check. I replaced the money that the loan took up. I did a manager check and I received. Even if I not return that money, and I said I will pay $10, the government could do me nothing. Senator Dillon could do me nothing. But because I knew that it was a plot to maliciously get a reputation and to not give me voice to speak against the evil that he is concocting with Senator or Young Bikanga to do, it was against that.
This station rules the nation.
I said I have to put the name of
Truth FM 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia.
If anybody should have a case, it should be me. And not them.
This station rules the nation.
What case we have? The first case that you criminally and dubiously put money in my account when you were already aware that I have resigned.
Liberia.
You were public controller.
Truth FM 96.1.
Knew that I resigned. Senator Dillon knew that I resigned and he made it public. And we were 3 persons that resigned, but Senator Dillon couldn't focus on me. He has a motive. He has an objective. This is. But like I'm saying, I will live above Senator Dillon free. I mean, for him, these are some things that he does, and he think that he's playing politics. No people watching. If you can do that to a guy like me, who managed your campaign 2 times, a guy like me who put away everything. When I met, he sent in account asking if I can do all of that for you, and the payback you are giving is to maliciously come at me. People are watching.
Okay, thank you. People are watching.
People looking at him.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just following us, this is you're following SKTV. We are in a conversation / interview with Martin Kollah here. This conversation is so interesting, but the feedback from you, because it's a little slower. But let me transition from the Liberty Party. But just before I transition, I'd like to ask you this question, a direct question. And please, I'd like for you to take maybe 1 minute or so forth to answer this question. Who is Senator Dillon? Because you have said a lot of different things here. And I think you have presented different personalities and confusing personalities to us, the public. Who is Senator Dillon? Considering you know Senator Dillon, you've worked with him, you've been around him, you've interacted with him. Who is Senator Dillon? What would you say?
Senator Dillon is Senator Dillon. That's all I can say.
What does that mean?
It means that he is what he is.
But we don't know what he is. That's what we're asking. What does that mean?
Senator Dillon is the guy who you will do everything good for, and he will come after you. Senator Dillon is Senator Dillon. Senator Dillon is a guy who you will build your relationship. Look, listen, we are friends. Senator Dillon, I see him as a friend. What he did to me, I could not stomach it. I could not imagine that. If he can do it to me, he is what he is. I have no other answer for that.
Okay. Senator Dillon is Senator Dillon is Senator Dillon. That's an interesting answer. Well, let's transition from Liberty Party, Senator Dillon. Let's move fast forward to the CPP, because you are in a CPP. You were in a CPP, and if it can be recorded, you also asserted on a team match that showed that you 50-50 that you have been with the CPP from the onset, from the get-go. You played major role or so forth. So you were on, and you were quoted here. This is a quote, and this was recorded on May 11th. So that's about 3 days ago. This is what you stated. CPP framework document was never altered. Well, they're in quote. You are saying it was never altered. Why would you say that? Why would you say the document was never altered?
Look, Steve, the truth, I don't care how to hide it, will surface. The truth will always surface. I stand by that statement that document was never altered. I will say that 100 times because I know that it was never altered. I know that it was never altered. And like you regularly stated, yes, I have been from the very formation of the CPP. We had a declaration of intent, 3 political parties, the ANC, the Liberty Party, and the Unity Party, the declaration of intent to collaborate. Mm-hmm. Then and that was done at the Liberty Party office. Have the commitment to work together. And that was done by the 4 political parties. ALP, Mr. Ure, or UP, Ambassador Bueka, and then at that time it was Liberty Party represented by Councillor Bronsky.
Okay.
That time they signed the commitment to collaborate.
All right. Thank you. I want to,
So
and this part of the conversation, Martin, I want you to be aware that I will stop you. I will hold
correct,
you to interject or to interrupt you once you are moving
correct.
faster or forward. But here is something. Here is now that you've clarified and you've asserted your position that this framework document was never altered and so forth. You also give us a picture or give us an insight of what do you mean by core group? You've said this word, and we've seen this word trending on Facebook and on other platforms and other places. People are talking about it. What is this core group? Who's part of this core group? And does it still exist?
So when the CPP started, I let you give a little bit of background, then you will understand where the core group come from. There was
Please,
representation at the level of the drafting committee of the framework document. At the drafting committee, Unity Party chairs Liberty. I was one of the co-chair person representing Liberty Party, and ALP has a co-chair, and ANC has a co-chair and one chair. But Unity Party chaired the entire drafting, and we work alone. Then it came to the validation committee. The validation committee was headed by ANC. There were co-chairpersons, and I was also a member of the validation committee. So I've been there from the very beginning. So we did a draft of the framework document. At the time, the framework document, the thought about core group came out. It was because, and you have to put me on the record, since I broke this news, because at the formation of the CPP, we were suspicious about one another. I keep saying this. Unity Party was started suspicious about ALP, about ANC, but we were more suspicious about Mr. Cummings and about his ANC.
So Martin, let me hold you there.
We see
Martin, let me hold you there before you move forward. I beg you, please. You said you guys were suspicious. So if you were suspicious of what and why?
When you have 4 collaborating political parties, 4 constituent political parties coming together, have their own political interests. So everybody was trying to protect and then look. Remember now, it was the same Councillor Bronsky who are just left from Councillor Bueka, Mr. Ure, people throwing jabs at one another. Unity Party, Liberty Party, ALP, ANC were not united during the 2017 election to come and say, let's form a collaboration. People have some hesitation. Everybody thought that Ambassador Bueka coming and he won't be, and then Unity Party want to, Councillor Bronsky, he will want to become standard bearer. So everybody looking at one another. But the Kumi issue become most suspicious, and that's how we begin to do mobilization. He begin to structure ANC. He begin to move around into the counties. While we were sitting and preparing a draft document, Mr. Cummings was moving ahead. It was like he was mobilizing. He was building his base. He was building in a political structure. It was against that backdrop that we, the 3 political parties, said, hey, our men moving too fast. Let's form a group that will comprising of the ALP, the Unity Party, and the Liberty Party that will be able to discuss some things to be able to hold ANC down. At that time, the idea about the 8.5.2 was not initially birthed at the very beginning. But the concept was people who want to move very fast, people who are mobilized, which was the right thing that he was doing. I mean, building his party, building his name, building his base. We thought that this people were moving too fast. So the idea was this, it looked like this guy would leave us in a collaboration if we form it, and he would leave. And after being popular, and he will leave us. It was against that bad draft Steve that they co-grew our form. Because everybody feared that Mr. Cummings would leave the collaboration. Everybody feared that Mr. Cummings was mobilizing too much. Everybody feared that Mr. Cummings was building his party and building his base so strongly. And so the idea of a co-group came about. And the co-group comprised of the Liberty Party, the ALP, and the Unity Party, and all the chairpersons of the three parties. At that time, Steve Zago was chair of the Liberty Party, women of the Unity Party, and Chairman Theodore Momo stayed in chair of the ALP, along with Mo Ali was part of that group. I was part of that group. Momo Sambola, who also concorded with my testimony about the White Core group, was also part of that group. He comes from our ALP. So the group members were there. They were people of the three constituent political parties that we excluded ANC, all of that. And like I said, the basic was Mr. Cummings was moving too fast. He was mobilizing too fast. He was building his base too fast and feared that he would leave the CPP and he would go to contest on his own. That was the initial rationale behind the entire core group. Then we put up, so we used to meet and try to tie, and I will tell you some of the working and the products of the core group. Very important, so people can know. So
okay, so hold on, Martin. Martin, please hold on. You'll get to that point, but I want to establish something
Truth
quick.
FM 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia.
I'd like to ask you this question before we move any further. I know you sent out an open challenge to all two or three political parties that were part of this core group, and I'm not sure as of yet if you've gotten any response of anyone has spoken about it or denounced what you've said. But here is what I wanted to ask you. So the core group that you are talking about, the public has never been aware of it. One would ask you, what proof do you have that this core group existed? Do you have any recordings? Do you have any paper trail, any communication that can substantiate what you are saying? Because anybody can get and say anything.
Look, the core group WhatsApp chat room is titled Core Group ALP, LP, and UP. That's the title since that chat room was funded. It was funded in September of 2019. Since September of 2019. And people begin to leave the group between May and December of 2021. So almost 2 years that group existed. And I will tell you why people started to leave the group also too. But nobody have denied it. Nobody have said that they were not part of the core group. I'm calling names. I said Chairman Zago was part of the White Core group. I said Mo Adi was part of the White Core group. And I said Momo Samara and Momo Samara King, and he confirmed that he was part of that core group from the ALP. So yes, they are. Was
Joseph Boakai was Vice President, former Vice President Joseph Boakai part of the core group? Was he in that core group?
No. The political leaders were excluded. The political leaders were excluded. And the chairpersons were in that room to report to the political leader. That's why we were there to report to our political leader. So the political leaders were all excluded. But yes, they are aware of the core group. So my thing is, have anybody come out to deny the core group? Like Samuel said, when they leave, they were core group discussion, they report to Mr. Ure. I didn't say that. So the core group, nobody have denied it. Nobody have said it doesn't exist. I know people started leaving the work group sometime in 2021, May toward December, and there were reasons why. But nobody, but you know, somebody said, so the purpose of that core group may have been something different from what you were saying. If it was different, why do we exclude ANC? If it was only good in the interest of all the four parties. My point is, the core group started with a motive that we should hold the CPP, with an understanding that, yes, at the end of the day, these three political parties will be the ultimate person to have benefit. But Mr. Kumis can come and build his base, build his store, do everything, and then just leave the core group. So after we put up the first framework document, Steve, if you can remember, we signed the first framework document on Zoom and we sent it to the public. And we get feedback from the public that was negative from the job clause. There was a clause in the framework document that talked about job.
Yes.
And because of that negative feedback, the four constituent political parties agreed to put together a team of lawyers to review the document. The core group saw it as an opportunity to insist that will hold all of us down, that 8.5.2. It wouldn't have happened so easily during the validation process, because remember now, the validation process was headed by, was not in the note initially of that clause. So we couldn't have inserted it initially, because the clause there was in our mind at that time to prevent the Alternative National Congress standard bearer from leaving the collaboration.
So Martin, let me hold you there, because while you are talking,
because they were chairing the first study.
Martin,
but because they were chairing the,
let me hold you there really quick. I want to ask you something. Let me hold you there really quick. Did you create the core group?
Pardon? I didn't get it.
Who created the core group? Who created it? Who was the individual that created it? Who was responsible to create that core group and add people there? Who created it?
So I became the administrator of the core group.
You became the administrator of the core group, because I do have a copy of the core group,
of course,
with me.
Yes.
And it states here,
yes,
for the record, let me say what it states here. It states here, Martin Kollah created this group. It states on the top, core group. And this group was created September 29th, 2019. Is that right?
Yeah. And what is the title of the core group?
Well, it's on here. It says core group, and it has ALP, LP, and UP. These are the three different parties that are in the core group based on the documentation that I have here. Okay, go ahead, please. I just want to make sure to establish that fact.
Yeah. So for the sake of their argument, I created our core group and I put all their party chairman inside. None of the party chairman said anything. None of the party decided say anything. We all collaborated for almost 2 years. It's the creation of group can be created by, and once we agree to form that group, any one of us who get WhatsApp can create it. So, but I was making this point. After we did the initial signing, it was very difficult to insert the clause that would prevent anybody from leaving the CPP, because ANC, and that was the idea coming from the core group. And because ANC chairs the core group at that time, it was chaired by Councillor Lafa Gu. Because Councillor Gu chaired it at that particular time, so it was difficult for her to insert the core group. I mean, in the core group idea. After we got feedback from the job clause, then we saw now most of the lawyers that were selected, if not all, they were brought by the Unity Party. Most of the lawyers that were selected, if not all, they were selected or they were party. So then it became a very easy opportunity now. Since it is the lawyer that are going to review it, and most of them are all selected by the Unity Party. So particular or clause that would prevent people from leaving the CPP. And I had that 8.5.2 came in to the lawyer review. And when the lawyers review was state trouble, Steve, after the lawyer review, after that particular 8.52 was inserted into the framework document, we were still troubled up or resistant because they were not part of that particular idea. But when the lawyers submitted their review to the, I was astonished. I honestly was surprised to see ANC political leader and ANC graciously accepting the provision that have to do with somebody from leaving the CPP or restraining somebody from leaving and then also going to contest in his or her own name. ANC post to that clause and we were all happy. We said, okay, fine. It's not good. At least everybody will stay in the CPP. The idea was Mr. Kumi was moving too fast, so the lawyer review was an opportunity. Since we could not get it passed through Councillor Gu because he was heading the validation team through the lawyer review. Since most of the lawyers there, they were brought on board by Ambassador Bweka and by the UP. So it passed. And Mr. Kumi placed that document in the place. That was the National Advisory Council charge that were extracted by Serena Sifo. Because Mr. Cummings placed that document there. The document was discussed at the Liberty Party office. Mr. Cummings placed the white document in a white chat room. The man who is testifying against Mr. Cummings today, Mr. Theodore Momo, chairman of the All-Liberian Party, to that document in the National Advisory Council chat room. He asked the question, so will the chairperson be signing this or agreement? And Mr. Kumi, but you need to take a look at it and then review it. So that same man is today testifying. Mo Ali, who is testifying, is aware of the core group far too after the lawyer review. But today, they are giving false testimony. And the man who should be the victim is the one for our country. But this is where we are. So the core group achieved that other objective. So you want me to tell you?
So before you get into what you want to tell the public,
you want me to tell you another objective?
Yeah, before you get into the next objective, I want to ask you something. I want to ask you something about the core group. Are you there?
Yeah.
Martin, are you there?
Yeah.
So yes. I'm looking at and on Monday we'll expand on some of these information that we got, and as we're getting them, we'll talk about them on Monday more. But just to give you the opportunity to corroborate something you said, based on the information I have here, ALP Reverend Steptar, LP Jala, and UP Chairman, all of them left the core group May 31st, 2021. Is that correct?
Correct. So look.
So
the information I have. Yeah, go ahead.
So let me ask you another question, because on Monday we'll in your absence, because we have the facts here, we'll dive into this deeper on Monday, just so the public can hear. We'll dive into this a little deeper but this is a question I wanted to ask you. Over 2 years, this core group was founded. This core group went into the elections. Members of this core group were still pretending that they were working with Mr. Comey. You went into the 2020 election, the senatorial by-election, which brought Senator Darius Dillon back on, Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, and other Prince Moi, and other people now from the CPP. What prompted you, after 2 years and plus, almost 3 years, for you to speak out, Martin? What prompted you? And what do you intend to achieve today by coming out?
So, Steve, and we call for the collaboration of political parties so that we can make President Weah a one-term president. So that the idea around the core group initially was to hold everybody into the CPP. And the fact that the communists were moving too fast and that he may one day leave. And someone thought by all means we should stay. So we agreed to the idea and administrator for one of his structure, which was the chat room. And when things started changing, but let me answer your question before I was explaining how things started changing. When things started changing, then I realized that there was another underlying motive. Rather, the man who we said was going to leave is the man who is staying in the CPP, and the other people are leaving. Also, when Mo Ali, who were part and parcel of the core group, and other folks who were part of the core group started to prosecute Mr. Cummings, that he knows nothing about, and for something that was birthed by the very core group that we are all a part of. Then I said, so when the case started, I began to engage Mo Ali and other people. I said, what you guys are doing is wrong, because the intent was to hold a man into the CPP. You guys are leaving. At this point in time, it is just very necessary for us to say the truth, because I think that Mr. Comey has been prosecuted. I think that he's the victim here. I think that this was intended for him to exclude him of the CPP. And like I said, some of the workings of the core group did exclude him, even though during the time of escape, but the workings of the core group have affected Mr. Cummings all through. And we will not stop now, but say what is right, knowing that was dubious. The motive, as we understood it, was misleading. It was intended to just hold this man down, and so that petition, people can tie him down, and some people who feel entitled that they should just give him this stuff. So at this point in time, we decided that we have to speak out of the benefits. Some of the benefits that we deny ANC and Mr. Cummings of because of the working of this core group.
Okay. Thank you.
So election, the CPP have a lot of crises. Now, CPP have been in multiples of crises. I'm so disappointed. The UP cannot manage this small crisis within the CPP. I'm so disappointed because the CPP have a lot of crises. During the special senatorial, there were 15 seats up for grab, 4 constituent political parties. Everybody won more of the seats as compared to the other person. So actions, we were able to deny or to take away Bapulu, for example. Bapulu County, the person who won Madam Botokane was somebody who should have contested on the CPP ticket, and she was from the ANC at the time. But because of the working of the Wako Group, Bapulu ALP, and yet Madam Botokane came out to win the elections. Grand Kedma County, who has been currently represented in a horse by Mr. Simeon Taylor, was denied, and that slot was given to Unity Party for Madam Vaba to contest on it, who is now senator who won, was denied that opportunity, and we lost. CPP lost Grand Kedma County in 2019, or 2020, or in 2019, because or during the by-election, because again the core group has united to deny ANC. And these circumstances demonstrated leadership. Guess what? He denied ANC Bapulu County. He put a public statement and going as far as registering the ALP candidate on the CPP and deny his candidate of choice by the ANC. He denied if Mr. Simeon Taylor contested during the by-election after Senator Dako said that, they're not true. Then I'm lying. Mr. Simeon Taylor, who was most properly suited to have won the election, was denied because he was from ANC, and we took a UP candidate to contest. Today, Mr. Taylor came back and proved on the ANC slot that he had won the election at that particular time. The Nima situation, it was a very fluid situation. Liberty Party, we were there fighting for Mana Ide Gonglowe. Of course, honestly, she was the best candidate. She would have won the election probably if the ANC candidate want to contest. But guess what? Mr. Cummings would have said, Tawumbe is my candidate, so I will stand with him. I said, I will not deny ANC Nima because I have denied ANC Bapulu, I have denied ANC Kema. So I will not deny ANC Nima. But Mr. Cummings took the better pick and he denied ANC. And he made a public statement endorsing Mana Ide Gonglowe. And we registered Mana Ide Gonglowe under the CPP or slots. So Mana Gonglowe contested on the CPP ticket, while Mr. Cummings was serving as head of the CPP. I'm talking about all these while Mr. Cummings heading the CPP. I doubt whether it had been some of the other political leaders today. So the core group working brought a lot of advantages to the other three political parties. But all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose after Mr. Cummings had dominated and we won majority of the seat in the 2020 special or senatorial elections, all hell broke loose when we were talking about coming down to a vast bill. So the three political parties that were in the core group now, there where you see as of May, because of May 2021, we begin to discuss consensus building. So when you keep the consensus now, of course, the political leader of Liberty Party wants to be vast in a barrel. Ambassador Boyka do not want any competition, any contest, but to be stand bearer of our CPP.
So Martin, let me hold you there.
Is excluded out of the group.
Martin, let me hold you there, please. Folks, if you're just joining us, this is SKTV. We're in conversation here with Martin Kollah, the current Secretary General of the Liberty Party. Those of you listening to us from Truth FM 91.6 in Liberia, we want to say thank you. We got a few more minutes here to go as Martin is deeply talking about this core group, and I'm disturbed, and I think other people are disturbed and are concerned. If we can just be hearing about this one, the question is whether it's the opposition or so forth, the possibility of other groups or other people gathering themselves to undermine themselves could probably be at a very high rate or so forth. But I want to throw a few names, and please let me know if they're part of the core group or if they're aware. Did Chairman Musa Ability or was the Chairman Musa Ability aware of the core group?
No.
Okay. Was Senator Darius Dino aware of the core group?
Check the membership of the core group. I will need to
check it. If you give anything contrary to what we have here, then we'll hold you here in contempt.
Yeah, sure. So I will need to check the group. I know definitely Chairman Ability was never a part, because at that time, Senator Steve Zago was the chair of the Liberty Party and he was a part of the core group.
Okay, so you can confirm or deny if Senator Dillon was part of the core group or he was aware of the core group. Let me ask you this direct question about this core group. Did the core group also play a role in denying Fubi hearing from the representative seat in District 9? Considering Fubi hearing had an attachment with the ANC, did the core group also play a role in impacting his chances of winning as opposed to the current lawmaker, which is from the CDC? What do you say about that?
No, the issue of this District 9 was not to my memory, not to my understanding. We at no point in time discussed District 9 as an issue. But I was trying to make a point, Steve. I was trying to give you the reason why the people started to depart the White. So sometime if March, April, May of 2021, the idea about consensus building started.
Okay.
So everybody started talking about consensus building, and between the four political leaders, they need to build consensus, or the four standard bearer, they need to build consensus to come, because that is the processes leading to candidate or selection of standard bearer and vice standard bearer. That there will be consensus building, there will be no voter perception survey, and there will be primary. So during the consensus building process, the three political, even amongst ourselves, we couldn't agree now, because, like I said, Ambassador Boyka wanted to avoid competition. He just wanted to be the standard bearer. Mr. Yuri had interest in the vice standard bearership, and Senator Kanga had interest also in standard bearership. So because of that, the core group started having small trouble. So people started leaving now. Then the issue of primary started to take center stage. Then things became even core group. Things became even bad for the core group when the primary issue started to take center stage sometime in August and September. people started leaving. More the party started insisting that they want to do black vote. At that time, Chairman Billete, who was never a part of the white core group, was in charge of the Liberty Party. And because he was we were supporting at that time, and then some of us have realized that, hey, but I think the men who they're talking about leaving, it is Unity Party and ALP, Unity Party and what ALP begin to talk about leaving early 2021. Not too long after we won the 2020 election. Around March, people from UP, ALP started to talk about leaving. So then some of us started to realize that, look, but we thought this thing was to hold us down. How can we be so suspicious about the other thing? And you guys, who we said that we should hold together, talk about leaving because you want for us to institute block vote. There were all the core groups trouble started. Of the issue about consensus building, and then we couldn't agree amongst ourselves as members of the white core group. Now all hell broke loose, and then people started departing the white core group. No more conversation now between ALP, Reverend Scepter, or Chairman Momo, or Samola, Martin Kollah, Frederick. Those of us that our part of different people, Mo Ali, said now we could not talk fluently now because Mo wanted block voting. I said no, we should go to a democratic primary where we allow individuals to have vote. So how can we stay in a Wako group now? So all, and then we started the party, and then everybody going their way. That way, when you see the record that you have there, you will see departure. People will start departing. I mean, you know, people started departing. But started to talk deeply about consensus, a consensus could now hold, and then we started to move into primary, and then people started to talk about black voting. It was at that point any longer, and then everybody started leaving.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Maybe outside of the core group, so that we can have you on record. Is there any other group apart from the core group that you are aware of? I'm asking a serious question. Is there any other group apart from the core group that you're aware of that was functioning or that is functioning to create any kind of dysfunction or to undermine whether it's Mr. Cummings or anybody else from the CPP? Is there any group that you are aware of, Mr.?
So Steve, firstly, we have now realized along the way, beginning from some part of any part of last year, that's the clinics into excluding. We have now realized that. So let me say that first of all, initially it was not the thought that we had. In fact, because everybody thought that the CPP was the only vehicle. But let me answer you directly. In political setting, people will have this kind of different organizations.
I mean, you're not answering the question.
If it's for that reason,
you're not answering the question. Start giving elaborate political answer. You have come to tell us about the core group. The damage that the core group, let's be honest here, the damage that the core group has created, the dysfunction. Let's forget about, let's put aside Mr. Cummings, but just thwarting the hopes, the aspiration, the efforts of some Liberians that they placed into this CPP that they thought would have been cohesive enough to get rid of this quagmire we have on hand, this bunch of criminals we have on hands. And we're asking you some direct questions. Is there any group, but you want to get a political answer? Okay.
No. So, look, listen, Guy, I think, like I said, the intentions initially was, but we found out that people were playing politics and people wanted to aspire their own desire, and we are not seeing it because some of us believe in one CPP. But yes, I don't that were as powerful as the core group. And I don't think there will be any coming after the core group. I don't know of any group that were as powerful as some of the results of that core group. The issue of making sure that certain senatorial seat was never awarded. So there will be no group as powerful as seats. You want authority, you want to contest, you want to compete. So I don't think there was any other group, to my knowledge, that I was part of that was as powerful as the core group. And I don't know about it. It's not something that I can say. This is why I answered the question in a general way. But personally, no, I don't know about any other group. But in politics, you expect people to form this kind of different group. Something that some of us thought that being that the people believe in this one vehicle that is called the CPP, the best thing to do at that time. We later on found out that the motive was misleading. They misinformed us because they wanted to show that Mr. Cummings, that they think will benefit only them, when he put up the surprises to show that he can stay in and he can stay compete, then broke apart. The core group broke apart because the intent was to exclude this man, was to make sure that the man get locked up into something, and at the end of the day, we just maybe we take 1 or 2 persons from the other place to become vice bearer, and then we will move on. But the man is already locked up. Even if he leaves, he will not go contest on the ANC ticket because he's moving to. So yes, you are right. In other thoughts, you are very right that the core group is in danger. The hopes for me, Steve, is to say the right thing. The core group, given the result of the core group right now, it has in danger. It has allowed the man who executed, and I think it is unfair. And those who are players of the core group, who are testifying against this man, are not doing justice, and they are not helping our people to get delivered from the bad governance.
Okay. Well, Martin, thank you so much. I will open the line, take 5 calls only. Guys, please, we're running out of time here, so let's open the line here really quick. We take 5 calls just for Martin to interact with our audience. Martin, I hope that's okay with you for us to take 5 callers, get feedback from them. Please, 1 minute each, get to the point. I'm begging you, let's get straight to the point. Please be respectful to our guests. Nothing personal. Get straight to the point, please. 1 minute each, so that we can call it a day, because we have to get ready for tomorrow. We have another interview. We'll make the announcement right after the show. But let me put the number out here. If you have any question or any concern for Martin, feel free. The number is up there. Let me ping the number on here. You have 1 minute. Feel free to call and ask your direct question to Martin. In the meantime, we'd like to say thanks to our viewers and our listeners from around the world. Martin, really quick, while we're waiting to call, let me just ask you this question. Who came up with that term or that nomenclature, core, just the word core or core group? Who came up with it? Hold on 1 second, I get no call here. And then you answer everything, please. Kollah, what's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
Talvina Cole calling from Texas.
Hey, Telvi, what's up? We miss you.
What's up? I missed the show today. But, we have to have a balance. So I'm out and about. It's an event.
All right.
I have a question for Martin. And if he's answering it, that's fine, because I was in and out.
Please go for it.
I have a concern concerned about all this revelation about this quote unquote core group. This case has been lingering for at least 4 or 5 months now.
Mm-hmm.
Even while this case was on, Martin was, I saw him on 50/50. I saw him on another show talking about, the checks, the direct deposit and other things, and even to a point of swearing that Darrell or whatever it is. At no time did he mention about this core group. So the first question there is, why now, when this information could help the case somehow? And does he take some sort of ownership to say that maybe he too is to be blamed too for holding on to such important information and maybe some sort of, I would say, deceitful in a way, because he was not able to disclose that information earlier, and now he's disclosing it. I know the question is fully loaded, but hopefully he got my drift.
Thank you, Telby. Thank you so much. All right, Martin, I think you went over that question, but you have the opportunity to address it really quick. Let's give it we got about 4 or 5 more minutes. So maybe you can address the 2 questions that I just asked, that Telby asked one, I asked you one. Who coined that nomenclature or that name, core? Just forget about the group in itself. I don't think it's relevant at this point, but just that word core. And why that word core?
Well, we thought that the CPP was a whole or consisting of 4 political parties. That was the justification. And if my memory can set me right, before I answer that second part, the person suggested that name was Mo Ali. Mo Ali was the one who suggested that particular name. Let me say this. So we thought that CPP, if we are extracting a portion, even though it's a bigger portion of 3, we should call it Co. But Mo Ali was the one that suggested that particular name.
Okay.
If my memory can set me, Mo Ali. Okay, so our sister asks, am I taking some of the blame? As a matter of fact, I'm taking the blame. Steve, I'm here taking the blame. I'm saying about something, whether I was deceived into it or not, I'm taking the blame. I'm not saying that I did something right. Look, people only prosecuted for something that he did not do. The framework document was never altered. That particular controversial clause that is holding other us down today was being proposed specifically from folks from the Unity Party. So in the ALP, so a Liberty Party concur and agree. So what is the point?
Okay.
I'm taking some responsibility, but I hope all of those in our group will also man up to take some responsibility. Okay. And then why now? I've explained why now. I said initially for a guy like Samula, for Martin Kollah, and for the few of us, we thought that there was a good thing because the CPP was the only vehicle that we could use to go. So if we see anybody is at the place for which they will want to leave the CPP, we should all tie one another into that.
Thank you, Martin. Let's get a few more calls.
But later we found out that we were being deceived.
Let's get a few more calls really quick, and then we'll call it a day. Yes, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please? You have 1 minute.
Yeah, my name is Holy Body Kramer. I'm calling from Chester, Pennsylvania.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, my concern is 2 areas. After the CPP group put in a self-destructive clause that has created a lot of problems, and then today now, being different from yesterday, Musa Berete's name seems to be the one that is ringing all around the place that he was planted to destroy the CPP. How do you reconcile that?
Yeah.
1, 2. With reference to the issue about the salary being deposited in a man's account, I I think that was the blunders of Senator Dillon's office. He should have informed those responsible for running the financial aspect, the salary and other initiatives of the Senate.
Thank you.
To have made a request to remove the gentleman's name.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think that was politically push hunting.
Thank you. All right. Kollah, what's your name? Where you calling from, please? Kollah, you said, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
My name is Mohammed Kita from Staten Island. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing very well, Mohammed. Please make your point really quick.
Okay. The question that I already have is that I wanted to know from the guest perspective, was there ever an invitation given to ARCO to join the CPP as an option and also the subgroup? If they did not, I want to know the reason why.
Okay.
Can he please elaborate from his perspective to help us understand, to make sure that if there was no disparity or discrimination in the process?
I didn't get your question.
What can you restate
I didn't
your
get your
question? You're too fast.
Okay. Yes, my question is, I want to know, did CPP framework ever reach out to ARCO to get them invited to participate in the CPP framework? If they did not, what was the reason and what was the motivation? And also the core group, did they ever reach out to ARCO? If they did or they did not, can you please elaborate to help us understand that it wasn't done with any analysis or discrimination or disparity in the process?
Thank you.
As a concerned citizen, thank you.
Yes, sir. Let me get the last caller. This will be the last caller for the night. Let me get the last caller here. And you will answer these 3 questions, and then we'll get your important comments. Yes, caller. I'm returning your call here. What's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, I'm Ramasi Dole from California.
Yes, Mr. Dollar, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to know when did Martin get to realize that the issue of consultation became a non-issue? We all knew it was a very big issue. Is it because the coin has been turned around, or what? I mean, that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Dollar.
When the issue of consultation is
when the issue of consultation became relevant.
Or in the CPP, how you mean?
Yes. So, Martin, let's have you answer those questions in the next. Take the next 1 or 2 minutes to answer them if you can, so that we can.
So quickly, let's see again. Because I don't think it is self-destructive the way people want to put it. The clause is not self-destructive. The intent of this, and this is why I believe that Mr. Cummings created this clause, and the ANC willingly work along with the idea coming from the core group and through the lawyers. It is not self-destructive. It is intended into a vehicle that we must use to deliver the Liberian people. The motive is self-destructive. The motive was wrong, initial stage. What we got was a clause that will keep all of us together and will not allow one person to just run and later on leave us. So this clause, if Liberty Party were fed Liberty Party, if ANC leave, they were fed, ANC. If ALP leave and UP leave like they are doing now, it will fed them. This is why they are not putting your candidate in the body. So it is not destructive generally. It is in the interest of the Liberian people that the 4 collaborating political parties stick together, but there was motive to exclude one of the political leader or stand-up bearer in the constituent party, and that was Mr. Cummings. So I like to make that very clear. Musa Belete, how can Musa Belete be the one planted? I don't understand it. You see, everybody on this platform will agree with me that Unity Party alone will not win election. Liberty Party alone will not win election. ALP alone will not win election. ANC, the Musa Belete, who is the plaintiff person, according to critics, is the ones who say we should hold together and make we are a one-term president. The joke started Mo Ali. Those people who are not plaintiff are the ones who say we should and they should leave and Joseph Boakai alone can win election. Can you imagine that? How can this man be the one plaintiff? The people who are plaintiff, they are showing all them, and we still living in denial. We intentionally deny the fact that there are people who are plaintiff who are destroying the hopes and aspirations of the Liberian people. These people, they are there, they are glaring. They're talking about leaving the CPP. When you know for sure, if you are on this platform and you can reason objectively with Rwami, you will agree the only thing that can make we are a one-term president is united opposition, especially or united CPP. So if we in the Liberty Party say we agree, if Martin Kollah together Kawame, they say I agree, then you call origin collaboration. You will say that we should split CPP so President Weah can enjoy another second thing. Then you say you the running. And I think our people know better. So Chairman Belete had never demonstrated to me at any point in time that he have come to destroy the world. As a matter of fact, when the CPP freeway document got stuck and we could not go about it, it was Chairman Belete intervention that how he would name on mail. All the four constituent political party knows about party and Lavagu AAC and Chairman Momo ALP and Liberty Party. We all knew that Musa Belete intervention brought the CPP alive.
Thank you.
And then somebody talk about inviting ACO. No. And at no point in time during the drafting of the CPP framework document did we ever talk about inviting ACO in particular. But we left room in the CPP framework document to accommodate other political parties. So ACO is no exception. So as the document is now, we can bring in CPP is not just lack up just for the full constituent political party. You know, we have room to bring in other political party. So I just want to say that look, the CPP is not destructive in the context that if we hold together, we can make we are a one-term president. The motive behind that clause is what is destructive. The Unity Party and the All Liberian Party. And this is sad. And this is why I am taking a portion of the blame. That maybe if we are not created a whole core group team, people to have flow, maybe CPP would have been better. But or maybe CPP who are even collapsed from the very beginning. From the very beginning. So it is important for us to inform the public that this group exists, and we're now saying that those who prepared the existence of this group had a motive that was very negative, that was very divisive, and that thing to exclude one person who we thought that was doing mobilization, restructuring, building his web base, and what have you. I don't know whether this is my closing statement now.
Yes, please give us your parting comments as we.
So let me just say that, you know, especially those who in the diaspora, this is a appeal that I want to make to you for folks in the diaspora. I always say that you love this country. This is why you send your money to this country all the time to support your people. It beat my imagination. Diaspora who actively follow our politics, try to play tribal politics and introduce divisive politics, or try to play party politics over Liberia. You have the situation in this country very objectively because you spend your money here, you have your family here, and this is your country. No, the crisis in CPP, if the four parties in CPP agree to give the state of bearership to Unity Party and make Ambassador Burger state of bearer, CPP crisis end. But those of you who have experience, is that the right way to go about it? The CPP crisis will end immediately today. Once we say Unity Party, you get a standard bearership. And is that what we came together for? You know, and what astonished me is that even those people who will say those things are the same people today who have turned around saying that they don't used to say, we did not come together, Baka president, or to make Kumi president, or to make it, but he's the same person now who who is now pushing and preaching that Ambassador Baka is the only person that is qualified to be president. It's a shame. It's undemocratic. The crisis in Liberty Party will come to an end today. Once we gave Senator Kanga absolute power and go back to the 2015 Constitution, that Senator Kanga can sit in your horse in Grand Bassa County and dissolve the executive committee of the Liberty Party crisis finished. You know, and this is and no one party that form part of the CPP can beat Ambassador or we are. Come to even Ambassador we are as popular as he was, have to unite with the MPP and Mr. Taylor party to defeat the sitting vice president. If with the sitting vice president as a standard bearer could not win election as a party, how now they can win election if they don't unite with the other party? Where is all of this arrogance coming from? This ego is coming from. All of these egos, arrogance, they are not necessary right now. The Liberian people hope in the CPP so show that the CPP holds. You know, and let me say on this medium, there are a lot of people who sometimes call me and they threaten my family, and saying that if you continue with what you are doing against Senator Kanga or against UP or against ALP, look, those things we can't campaign against you. What does it benefit me if I win as representative and the entire country is having bad leadership? It's a waste of time, as the president said. So I'm not bothered about the death threats on the family. Those things don't move me. What we need to do in this country and help us to ensure that objectively we see Liberia above party, above tribe, above religion. It is at that point that we do what is run party in CPP. Stop the arrogance, stop the ego. It's for nothing. Mr. Cummings alone will not win. Mr. Baka alone will not win. Crisis on Mr. Ure. He had crisis on Senator Kanga. He had more intense crisis on Mr. Cummings. But we went through it. Why on the unit savage the crisis with the CPP? You know, I just want to say thank you. And I really appeal to folks in the diaspora, try to find and know the wild truth. The truth is that Mr. Kume has been wrong. This must stop. And this is why these revelations are very important at this point in time, because we think that those who have taken one of our own to the very government that want to unseat, ungrateful to the Liberian people, and we think this must stop. That case needs to end right now, because even the government herself is saying that she is not aware of the case. It is the Solicitor General. Like, this is the same government that we are running to as opposition. We are not serious at all, and we think that the Liberian people who are blame us for the
Thank you, Martin.
for the condition that will be in. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, folks, on this note, we want to say thank you. We want to give our announcements here really quick before we part. I want to say thanks to Martin for his time with us. Thanks to True FM for relaying the program for today. Tomorrow, as you are already aware, some of you, we'll play host to Mr. Alexander B. Cummings, which is the political leader for the ANC. and by default, I think the current chairman of the CPP, he will be our guest here tomorrow at 6 p.m. GMT time, which is in Liberia. But on our end here, it will be 2 p.m. Eastern time, 11 a.m. Arizona time, and 1 p.m. Central Standard Time or May Western Time. So we want you to please be on tomorrow. On Monday, we have a lot to talk about. Monday will be on as well. And we'll dive into this thing, into this whole core group. We got some of the information. We're still working on getting more. We'll tell you some of the names, some of the people that are part of, where or are part of this core group. This is very troubling. It's very concerning. On Monday also, we'll tell you a little bit more about from other news, the information we're getting. Henry Costa was begging Mr. Alexander B. Cummings for money. We'll go into detail on that as well on Monday. Jay Randy has been able to uncover some facts. Hopefully he would be here on Monday to dig a little deeper into that. If not, we'll still get the information and pass it on because it's our responsibility to have this conversation. But we want to say thank you to all of you. Tune in tomorrow. Monday, don't forget, tune in as well. We have a lot to talk about within the start of the new week. A lot of things to talk about. And I mean, we'll talk about these things. Just so you know. Just so you know. Tomorrow or on Monday, we'll bring you a lot of in other news. Because there are some things that are going on and we've been able to get, some of the information firsthand. We'll talk about it. Very interesting things. But stay blessed. Tomorrow we'll be on. Invite someone. My man Solomon, what do you have to say, my man? Tell our people in the diaspora here, my man, what do you have to say to them before we leave?
Let me say happy Unification Day, because today is a holiday, a national holiday in Liberia. So all the folks there in diaspora, I want to say happy Unification Day from Liberia. Yeah, and many thanks also for being on the platform here with you today, and making all executive effort to get a program relayed here to the peace-loving people of this nation, Mama Liberia, across the 15 sub-political division here.
Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow for sure. Have a good night from your end, and this is how we
You don't even know my story. You don't even know your story, oh yeah. Oh yeah, you know, on the day, I be a local. So moral. You post your new car on Facebook. But I so la la, you working better. Bluffing and acting jealous, say you photo. My advice for you, in my way, I got to confess.